Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Welcome back to Understanding Culture, Society, and Politics. In this lesson, we will talking about the forms and functions of social groups and organization. If you found this video informative, please do not forget to click the subscribe and like button. Also, if you have questions or kind words to say, please leave it on the comment section below. Thank you. The main objective in this lesson is for the learner to analyze the forms and functions of social organizations. Concepts of social groups and organizations. What is a group in the first place? According to George Holmans, a group is a collection of two or more persons who are in social interaction, who are guided by similar norms, values, and expectations, and who maintain a stable pattern of relations over a period of time. According to a definition by Donald Light, a group is a set of individuals who identify and interact with one another in a structured way based on shared values and goals. A social group, on the other hand, is a unit of interacting personalities with interdependence of roles and statuses existing between and among themselves. It is a collection of people who interact with each other in accordance with the position they occupy in the society. There are other collection of people but are not considered as a social group. For example, an aggregate. An aggregate is a group of people in the same location at the same time, but they do not share a sense of identity nor interact with one another. For example, in a mall, there are people in there having their own transactions or just window shopping. They are an aggregate or a crowd, but they don't necessarily interact with each other. Another collection of individuals who share similar characteristics but is not, in any way, connected to one another is called a category. For example, you do not know all of the students of senior high school students in the country, but you share this common trait and do similar things, such as answering the modules, same subjects, doing research, and the like. In that sense, you belong to that category. When an interaction persists often enough, a social relation is formed. Social relation is reciprocal in nature. The behavior of the interactors derives its meaning from his relation to the other person or persons involved. Some examples are mother-daughter relationship, or husband and wife, teacher-student or employer and employee relations. Some interactions are upgraded to an organized, structured relationships. Social organization refers to a type of collectivity established for the pursuit of the specific aims or goals, characterized by a formal structure of rules, authority relations, a division of labor and limited membership or admission. There are two types of social organization: formal and informal. A formal organization is formed to serve a specific goal or purpose. For example, the government is formed to govern and manifest the will of the state. Another example is the organization formed within a business corporation. The main goal is for the corporation to profit and be able to continuously serve the clientele with products or services and to provide salary and benefits to their employees. Formal organizations are characterized by the inherent division of labor or power, its set of rules or policies that all members follow, and its system of inducting or replacing members. Informal organizations, on the other hand, serve the needs of individual members. It is created without a well-defined goal or purpose. For example, in a company, the executives can allow clubs to form within the organization. The main goal of these clubs are not related to the welfare of the company itself, but to the welfare of the employees. Another example of informal group is a relationship group. It is formed due to close relations to one another. For example, Barkada or circle of closest friends. Developed by Amitai Etzioni in 1975, there are three main types of formal organizations: the utilitarian, normative and coercive. Utilitarian organizations that provide income, a means of livelihood or other type of benefits to its members. For example, the school. Aside from the main purpose of delivering quality education, they also have the responsibility to provide income to their employees. Normative or also called the voluntary organizations. An organization individuals join to pursue moral goals and commitments, such as charity works or religious organizations. Coercive. An organization that uses force to maintain control. These organizations also do not give the members the freedom to revoke membership, and membership is also involuntary. An example of this is the prison or psychiatric wards. The individuals within these institutions, once instated as a member, cannot leave without permission. Types of social groups. There are different types of social groups according to different things, such as location, social ties, self-identification and others. Let's take a look of these types. Types of social groups according to social ties. We have primary and secondary groups. Primary groups. A small group that shares close, personal, enduring relationship. It is the fundamental unit of human society which is characterized by love, affection, care, support, concern, and other innate feelings. Prominent example are the family and your closest friends. Secondary groups. Unlike primary group which has a close, personal relationship with an individual, a secondary group is characterized by impersonal, business-like and goal-oriented relationships. Most secondary group relations are temporary and involves weak emotional ties and little personal knowledge about one another. For example, employees, workmates, business associates, faculty and staff and others. However, secondary group can become a primary group once the relationship becomes personal and involves deep-seated concern and care for one another. For example, some office mates treat each other as families, especially those who have been working together for more than 10 years. Types of social groups according to self-identification. In-groups, out-groups and reference groups. In-groups. A group where an individual feel like he or she belongs to. It is a social unit in which individuals feel at home and with which they identify themselves with. For example, there are a group of people which we can call our people. We feel comfortable around them, we feel safe when we are with them. Due to this deep relationship with our in-group, we sometimes compare our inner circle to other groups we do not belong to. And, we sometimes feel like our group is superior or better than other people. This phenomenon is called the in-group bias. Outgroups. These are groups that an individual does not identify with due to difference such as status, social class, interests, beliefs, and other aspects. Some other individuals feel opposition, rivalry or desire to compete to outgroups. Reference or psychological groups. A group which individual compare themselves to. It serves as a standard of measurement for that individual. Reference group refers to a group to which an individual or another group is compared. For example, if you love watching Barcelona, Manchester United, or the Brazil national football team play it out on the world stage for football, then their game, techniques and strategies become your standard in terms of football. Even without you consciously assigning them as your reference group, you may actually compare a neighborhood soccer game or a inter-school soccer tournament to them. Which would make you think less of these community soccer games since you have made those international teams as your reference group. Reference group is a group which individuals relate or aspire to relate themselves psychologically. Another example are the girl groups or boy bands that are popular amongst teenagers these days. They feel like they need to work hard in order to be at par with their favorite groups. In some way, this can be an advantage since you can aspire to become better. But, the downside is, celebrities or K-pop groups set out too high of a standard for an average person to achieve. This might make some teenagers frustrated or depressed, rather than inspired. Types of social groups according to purpose. Special interest groups, task groups, and influence or peer groups. Special interest group. These are groups which are organized to meet the special interest of the members. For example, there are groups created for specific fields such as the Philippine Society of Information Technology Educators, or Philippine Society of Microbiologists, or Philippine Institution or Civil Engineers. Clubs such as handicrafts, painting, music, glee or dance clubs. These are only a few examples of special interest groups. Task group. Groups assigned to accomplish jobs which cannot be done by one person. Influence, peer group. Groups organized to support or influence social actions. For example, in some universities, student peer counselors are organized in order to help freshmen and other college students in their problems. The counselors are made up of students who are willing to help their fellow students. Types of social groups according to geographical location or quality of relationship. Gemeinschaft, frequently translated to community. This refers to individuals bound together by common norms, often because of shared physical space and shared beliefs. This group is usually based on the mutual feelings of togetherness maintained by the group members who see the existence of the group as their key goal. On the other hand, Gesellschaft, also known as society, refers to associations in which self-interest is the primary justification for membership. Usually, the members of this group has a primary goal of enhancing their own self-interest, and in order to attain that, an organized group is formed to coordinate efforts. Elements of effective group functioning. It is advisable to have a democratic or participate leadership employed within the group. In some cases, authoritarian can be utilized as well, but this will only work if the leader is looking out for the welfare of the group members and in dire situations. By employing democratic leadership, the group will be able to come up a creative solution to problems by hearing different opinion from its members. Flexile patterns of communication are used and a cooperative problem-solving approach to discussion is employed rather than a competitive win-lose approach. Even within highly structured organizations, good and effective communication serves as the key to success. And cooperation and teamwork are highly valued, especially in times of problematic situations. Members should be encouraged to deal openly and candidly with one another. And, decision techniques which favor a sharing of responsibility via protection of the individual rights are used rather than techniques which place the responsibility clearly in the hands of but a portion of a group. Some factors affecting group dynamics. Group dynamics' main concern is about how a specific group can influence an individual and how an individual influences a group. Factors affecting such dynamics are the following. Group size. The larger the group, the more difficult it is to maintain internal equilibrium and more conflicts are expected to arise. Type of group goals. Depending on the main goal of the group, the influence towards an individual may be positive or negative. For example, if a fraternity teaches brotherhood, unity, solidarity and camaraderie to its members, then an individual will bear these traits and may apply it to other groups. Kind of group cohesion. The bond between members affects the group dynamics. That is why, in companies, institutions and other formal organizations, team-building activities are usually conducted in order to create a deeper bond within the group. Social conformity. If the group conforms to the society, then an individual may also be influenced to do the same. For example, if a high school student is a member of the arts club in high school, then there is a high chance that he will take an arts degree in some of the well-known universities in the society. Even if the student may not have adequate finances for this endeavor, he will probably conform to the expected decision as influenced by the group's conformity to this social practice. Group decision-making also affects group dynamics. Decision-making usually follows this typical pattern. Orientation, evaluation, reaching a decision and restoring equilibrium. Orientation is when the group is being acquainted with a situation or a problem. Evaluation is the part where members look for options, plan or take into account different things that is needed for the situation or problem. Once options are finalized, members will then use a system to reach a decision. In formal organizations, voting and following the decision of the majority is usually employed. Afterwards, restoring equilibrium is important since there may be some conflicts or differing opinion about the decision made. Finally, leadership. This is one of the best examples on how an individual influences a group. The leadership style of a group leader marks the direction a group takes. In every group, there is a de facto leader assigned. However, in formal organizations, there are certain procedures in attaining this position. Leadership. But first, what is a leader? A leader is someone who influences other people in a group. The leader leads, guides and inspires the members of a group. Leadership, on the other hand, is the act of leading, guiding and inspiring a group of people or an organization. There are two types of leaders: the instrumental leader and the expressive leader. An instrumental leader is the one that makes plans to achieve the goals of the group. This type of leader is focused on the goals and purpose of the group and makes plans in order to achieve them. Expressive leader is not particular with the goal but aims to increase harmony and lessen conflict within its group. Some qualities of a leader. A leader should be intelligent, has dominance over the members, and have that charisma that entitles him or her of respect and awe. A leader should be enthusiasm and should have courage and determination not just in decision-making, but in other aspects of our everyday lives as well. A leader is self-confident and minimizes the room for doubt, especially in his or her plans and decisions. A leader should have a high sense of integrity, tact and politeness when speaking to members and diplomacy, especially in times of crisis. The leader should also be involved and a good follower of the group's rules and policies. Aside from these, a good leader should also be a good listener, a visionary, and a good role model. Thank you for watching. In the next chapter, we will be talking about state and non-state institutions. Since it is the end of the quarter, we might not be posting any new content in a few weeks' time to give way to our summative tests. Thank you for your understanding. Please support the future content of K-12 Study Club.